Good evening, Bhante. Good evening,
Yes.
brother and sister. Should we start now, Bhante?
Yes, please.
You, Bhante. Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita, Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Ti-Ratana Vihara Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. Today is the day 153 of this series of Sutta discussion, the fifth class of Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta with topic Paṭikkūlamanasikārapaba, or section on attention to the nature of the body, the exercise number 4 in Satipaṭṭhāna practice. Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta is the 15th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Pattakama Sutta, Patama Samajivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, Dajaga Sutta, Girimananda Sutta, Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta, Chunda Sutta, and Digajanu Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman-Padana Klang's YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore please share around about this class to other friends and or family members so that whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact the Vihara administrator. Or you can join the class from Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel where we broadcast the Sutta class live on every Friday evening from 8:30 till 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce you to you about
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima, who is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. Bhante was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from year 2012 to 2016. Recently, Bhante Chandima has joined Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines as Assistant Professor of Buddhist Philosophy. Bhante is also the Senior Advisor to Paṭisotta, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at www.patisotta.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bhante at Paṭisotta Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Sister Aliana. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. It's wonderful to gather again for Sutta study, Friday Sutta study, hosted by Ti-Ratana Klang Vihara. And welcome to those returning and those joining for the first time. I think all are regular, all have become regular now at this point, in case there's somebody who shows up for the first time. So, before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Once again, good evening, Dhamma friends. Today we are going to dive into another Satipaṭṭhāna exercise from Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. I would say both Satipaṭṭhāna Suttas, they are pretty much the same. And this Satipaṭṭhāna exercise, which is the fourth Satipaṭṭhāna exercise in the Kayanupassana, is named as Paṭikkūlamanasikārapaba means Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. Okay. So Paṭikkūla, what could be the meaning of Paṭikkūla? Manasikara is a very familiar Pali word for most of us, right? Attention, right? Paṭikkūla means, Pati means against, Kula,
Reflection.
yeah, Kula means edge, slope or bank. Against the slope, against the bank. That means now when someone is to understand particular nature of the body, that is regarded as not as a usual regular understanding about the body. It is somewhat different than how someone is going to see the body. It is not successful to translate this to be the repulsive part, because this includes a lot of contextual meanings. And we can translate this to be 32 loathsome places, 32 repulsive, 31 actually, it's not 32. 32, number 32 for body parts come from Abhidhamma or Atthakatha commentaries. In the Satipaṭṭhāna Suttas, we understand that the Buddha only fleshes out 31 body parts. So you can't say it is Dvattin Sakar. For those people who are participating in our OPRC class on Thursday, you may perhaps remember that we studied Khuddaka Nikaya in the first couple of weeks. In that we discussed Dvattin Sakar. There we see that brain has been added, right? Mattalung. Now this addition of the brain into the body part is not appearing in the Satipaṭṭhāna Suttas. We don't have to make it a problem, but what we see in the Satipaṭṭhāna Suttas, explanation of body parts only carry 31 body parts. I just want to enumerate the number. And Paṭikkūla, once again, Kula means the edge, bank, shore, slope. Pati means against. Now think about Paṭisota. That's another observation. Sota means current, stream. But when it is preceded by Pati, it is called upstream. But think about the opposite side of Sota, Anusota. ANU, maybe I'm going to type one just to see some changes. Paṭisota means upstream. And the polar opposite of Paṭisota is Anusota. Anusota means downstream. Okay. Now, to the Buddha, he looks at the normal way of processing sensory experience and then engaging and reacting to the sensory experience is following the Anusota way. Downstream. Downstream means when a stream is flowing, it is usual for us to see that essence, right? And when it comes to the Noble Eightfold Path practice, middle path, that is regarded as an upstream practice. Paṭisota means that. So in the same way, Paṭikkūla. Paṭikkūla means going against the edge. Edge here refers to the normal thinking about with regard to the nature of the body. So, Manasikara. May I know what is Manasikara?
What is attention?
Manasikara means attention, right? So this Manasikara, is Manasikara always ethically positive or ethically negative or neutral? Is it a neutral mental state, or is it an ethically positive or kusala? Is it always a kusala state? Is it always an akusala state? It's an uh, ethically neutral state. Even Abhidhamma also talks about it. And we don't have to go to Abhidhamma too. That is why the Buddha says there should have yoniso manasikara. If manasikara alone is enough, then he would have not added wise attention, yonisopa. According to the second sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, Buddha says we have to differentiate, separate out yoniso manasikara from ayoniso manasikara. Right? Some of you were not here when we discussed Sabbasa Sutta a long time ago, few years back. And wise attention and unwise attention were discussed in the Sabbasa Sutta by the Buddha. So that means manasikara can be a holistic experience, or it can be an unholistic, unwholesome experience, depending on how an individual goes through that process. So that's why manasikara, Pali word manasikara, is not always ethical or unethical. One has to see the context. Now, Paṭikkūlamanasikāra means being able to attend to the particular or necessary attention with regard to the nature of the body. This is Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. And for many people, there have been a lot of pushbacks because they think that this is for monks and nuns in the temple, right? Because why do we have to look at the 31 body parts as a layperson? There are lots of pushbacks with regard to understanding about maybe they couldn't be criticized for that thing. Maybe how they have learned about these 31, or maybe how they have listened to certain talks about this subject could have made it kind of complicated. Come to the point that they think that this is only for the Sangha members. Actually, why are we discussing this today if it is only for the Sangha members? If it was meant for the Sangha members, why are we talking this with the lay people? No, it has many meanings. Now, let me put the thesis here. I mean, thesis with regard to the plan today's, the whole discussion. Why should lay people need to understand Paṭikkūlamanasikāra? That's a very good question to put forth, actually. The reason why lay people need to understand Paṭikkūlamanasikāra and to practice Paṭikkūlamanasikāra could be for two reasons. One reason is that lay people are actively engaging in the karmas, not functionally. Yeah? They are actively engaging in the ethical karmas. It could be a sexual experience. It could be a sight experience. It could be a hearing experience. It could be a what you call smelling experience. It could be a tasting experience. It could be a touch experience. It could be a thought. And Sangha members also experience them in their own ways. We can put it them as neutral biological functions. I mean, they don't engage, but lust can come to a Sangha member too, right? Anger can come to a Sangha member too, right? They are neutral biological functions. But what makes someone to be a Sangha member is how they handle it. Right? That is the difference, not the rope itself. Right? So the way how they handle it and how a layperson is to handle it could be the main reason how they make in this experience difference. So for a layperson, understanding and practicing the Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is important in the first place, not to overindulge in that sensual experience. That is number one. I think even when you are engaging in ethical calmness, you don't have, you need mindfulness, right? You need mindfulness. That is why you need it. Not that you go to a forest, you go to a retreat and meditate, come back again, and you are again going back to the overindulgence. I think mindfulness will help you see the parameters of your ethical calm. Now, we don't have a question. Should lay people need calm or no? That is not a question at all, right? They need calm. We don't have a question about it here. They need calmness. There shouldn't have any injunction, prohibition by the Buddha with regard to the lay people as to whether they need calm or not. They need calmness, but ethical calmness. Ethical calmness means whatever the rupa, saddha, gandha, rasa, pottabha, dhamma should come from ethical sources, and the engagement needs to be ethical, and the follow-up experience should be ethical as well. Now, since that question is already tossed down, I mean, the earlier question, they need calmness, ethical calmness. Our question here is, our actually attention will primarily go around with regard to overindulgence. Or perhaps, yes, I think overindulgence is a good way to say it. So, what are the problems with regard to overindulgence of calmness? May I know? Let's try to delineate that part a little bit. As a layperson, how do you see overindulgence?
It become addiction, Bhante?
When the
Addiction.
calmers turn to an addiction. Right? But this addiction has to be discussed too. Is it a habit? Because when you form calmers can become a certain habit. Are we putting all the habits into addiction? The word addiction primarily comes in psychology. Especially psychology has turned to, because they have been talking about diseases, phobias, disorders for a long, long time, right? So even when we learn about psychology a long time ago, and then you see, oh, why are they talking about negative stuff? Like how some people describe Buddhism to be suffering, right? The only thing that the Buddhism talks about is suffering, which is a wrong idea. But in the last 10 to 12 years, psychology has been exploring into a very interesting area as a different branch of psychology. What is it? Positive psychology. Now they are talking about how to enhance our mental health, going beyond the disorders, going beyond the phobias, going beyond the illnesses, right? Positive psychology. So addiction is a term that is highly used in the all type of psychological practices. But when karmas turn into a certain addiction, we can certainly understand that it could be an overindulgence. So can we now look for an example? Now we know the theoretical part. Can we take an example to discuss this overindulgence? Let's talk about the food, harmless example, right? Food experience. Let's talk about the appetite. Now, is there a good appetite? I mean, kusala type of appetite? Or is there a certain akusala type of appetite? Now we understand that appetite can be functional. We all have the functional type of appetite. Right? Even enlightened individuals need to subsist on the food. Right? So, how do you call when someone loses appetite due to a flu, health problem, very I would say strong treatment? Then that person will go through a certain hard time, because if you don't like eating, you don't feel that you want to eat, but you don't feel you want to eat. Because the opposite is also an addiction, right? There are people who don't need to eat, but they feel they want to eat, right? That is what is happening in today's world, right? I mean, say for instance, people who have already had their meals, but they still want to eat. But the opposite of that is people who want to eat, but they don't have the appetite to eat. So then appetite by function, which is the normal thing, commonplace that we all have it, and appetite by craving, right? That is an addiction at that point, right? What if that someone is always on the search for better food, and this can even give a very hard time with regard to dealing with the people, looking for the places and going to eat together, right? So food experience can become an overindulgence experience, right? So then that is one experience, one example with regard to overindulgence. What could be another example to talk about overindulgence? Any other example? You can think about any karma. When that karma turn to a stage where someone can be addictive, or maybe someone is crushed by that karma. Not that he crushes or she crushes the karma, but karma instead crushes the person, the other way around. I think all these experiences can become overindulgence, right? Now, even Prince Siddhartha used a lot of overindulgence comforts. That's why when he delivers his first Dhamma talk, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he specifically talks about Kamasukhallikana Yoga, overindulgence, indulgence. In that he talks about that overindulgence does not lead to uh, enlightenment aspects. I think we don't have to talk about enlightenment aspect. At least if someone turns to overindulgence, then that will preclude us, prevent us in becoming happy in the lasting in the time to come. Okay, so one reason why you need to learn Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is to understand your overindulgence if you are into that already. Can you remember a certain Pali word, Pali concept called Ahare Paṭikkūla Sañña? Have you heard this term? What is this? Ahare Patik, same Pali word, Paṭikkūla Sañña. That means the Buddha asked some monks, some others to practice Ahare Paṭikkūla Sañña. That means even to see the real true nature of the food experience, right? With regard to the four elements and all that. Abhidhamma talks about a little more analytically. They are talking a pure octet, Suddhatta. They are saying not even Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu elements pervade with regard to any physical matter, but also there are four other aspects of the element, what you call Vanna, Rasa, Gandha, Oja. Every physical element has a color. Every physical element has a certain taste. And then every physical element has a smell. And then every physical element has a nutriment. So that is an Abhidhamma teaching, which we don't find in early Buddhism. But anyways, what we need to understand is that Paṭikkūla Sañña is directly connected to food. You can talk about food, you can talk about sexuality, you can talk about some other experiences, whatever the calm experience you talk about, you can relate to overindulgence. This is number one. Number two reason for why lay people should learn about Paṭikkūla Sañña, especially what you call Paṭikkūlamanasikārapaba as the fourth, one of the Kayana Satipaṭṭhāna practices. Now, when lay people are engaging in ethical calmness, could there be a certain flip side of that ethical karma's engagement, could those ethical karmas seduce them into unethical karmas? Because they are partly enjoying, on one side, they are enjoying ethical karmas. Think about temptations. Somebody is married to someone. How could that person process with regard to other human beings, with regard to the beauty and all that? Someone is thoroughly enjoying food. How could that person understand the temptations with regard to some other food? Right? And then somebody must have possessed a lot of material things. How could someone understand some other person's possessions that are much more affluent than that person? So that means temptations are pretty natural. They could come to anybody. But what could happen when such temptations come to someone who is enjoying some amount of karmas in the same way? Then that person should also have to deal with that experience too. On one side, not over indulging in the ethical karma experience. On the other hand, how to deal with the uh, uh, temptations that are coming to that person while enjoying the ethical karmas. What could be the temptations someone could experience in one's life? May I know some of the experiences in short? Yes.
Impulse buying, Bhante, shopping, impulse, buying by impulse, not thinking properly, just the habit of buying.
Buying culture, right?
Yeah.
Buying culture is one thing. So how could that be a temptation? That means someone has already bought a place, but maybe his or her friends or whoever going to buy. You mean could that peer pressure tempt that person to have a temptation? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, in a way.
Okay, in a way. So that means this peer pressure with regard to karma experience. I mean, that could be one example. But yeah, it could be a temptation. Buying culture, right? It shouldn't be only a house, right? It could be many things, right? Yes, and Jessica is saying shopaholic, yes. Yes. You can't even be dhammaholic. Not even shopaholic. Yes, well, anyways, one example is buying culture due to the peer pressure. What are the other examples of temptations? I think you know a lot of things. You are just being quiet. Please spell them out so we have a very good engaging discussion at that point. Gambling. Yes, gambling. Yeah, it can also tempt others to engage in, because think about, someone is positively talking about gambling. I made a lot of progress in gambling, in casinos, right? So somebody might think, okay, why don't I try that too, right? My friends went there and all that, right? So it could be a temptation. But I think we are at the moment talking about a normal ethical karmas and then the temptations to those karmas. I think gambling is a very exclusive experience for certain people. Not everybody wants to go and do the gambling part. Buying culture definitely affects. Shopping culture definitely affects. And then what are the other examples? Drinking alcohol without self-control. Yeah. Drinking habits, right? It can tempt someone to drink more, maybe become very much addicted to that thing, right? Due to peer pressure. That's why the Buddha said association matters to us, right? And then other examples.
How about gossiping? Gossiping and talking too much.
Okay. Gossiping can become a temptation, right? When you are with 5 people, 4 people are talking gossip, and then how do I manage that situation? Should I also am I affected? I could be affected, I could not be affected. But what should I do at that point? Right? If I'm a pandita, wise person, even 1,000 people talk gossip, and I shouldn't be part of that gossip culture, right? But anyways, that has a temptation. But gossiping is not a normal karma experience, right? Not everybody gossips, right? But maybe most people might. Okay, I'm getting some chats over here. They are TikTok thinking. Social media reliance to depending on, dependence on social media apps. This could be a temptation, right? Because you see all the friends they are chatting, they are sharing stuff. Why don't I? Right? You are automatically checked with a certain experience. And then what else? Now, when I ask about this matter, you can think about karma experiences. What are the karma experiences in Buddhism? Rupa experience, right?
Yes.
Sight experience. Then second, Saddha experience. Saddha means hearing experience.
Hearing.
Then third,
Ganda.
Gandha experience, smelling experience. Then Rasa experience, taste experience.
Potaba.
Pottabha experience, touch experience. Then Dhamma.
Dhamma.
Dhamma means thought experience. Now, then all the examples that you are supposed to think at this point should come from these 6, right? So anyways, you may think about the rest of the examples. So lay people need to learn Paṭikkūlamanasikāra because they don't need to veer off in their karma experience. They need to stay onto their ethical karma experience without veering off onto the overindulgence path. That is number 1. Number 2 is how to handle, as a layperson, how to handle temptations that arise. We have to accept that temptations are normal to everybody, right? We don't have to show that we are not affected by the temptations. What is important is that not the temptation, how are we going to deal with the temptation, right? So these are the 2 reasons why a layperson should learn about Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. Right? So we don't have a problem with regard to should a layperson enjoy karma or not. That is tossed down because that is a very pretty much commonplace thing. We don't have to invest about it because Buddha has clearly said lay people have to engage in ethical karmas. Now, with this background, let us turn to the note and the text. So I translated this to be attention to the nature of the body. That is a pretty much how to say, comfortable translation rather than saying looking at the 31 repulsive, loathsome places of the body. What are we going to do at that point, especially as lay people? There could be, if you translate literal sense, yes, that's true. That's a translation. But some of the Pali words cannot be translated literally. If you translate it, it will create a mess. Because Buddha is talking concepts, not the Pali words for the most part. Some Pali words are pretty much literal. But especially when we discuss, now think about Nibbana. Nibbana is not a totally Buddhist word. It's a borrowed word. It's a long word from Hindu Nirvana. Right? Then how do we know? If you can translate Vana, Nibbana, right? Someone can say that going beyond the craving. All right. Can you hear me? Okay. So the perfect extinguishing activity with regard to Lobha Dosa Moha or Raga Dosa Moha fires could be the Nibbana. Now, how do we find out that meaning in the literal sense of Nibbana? That could be a problem, right? So that's why sometimes it is not possible to translate with mere Pali words, especially concepts. Other words could be okay to translate. Okay, now with that, it was translated to be attention to the nature of the body. Okay, can I ask someone to read Pali? So 1.4 to, it's a lot. So I will ask the first person to read 1.4 to 1.44. Okay, who would like to read this part? You can raise your virtual hand. Yes, Serena, please.
Bhante, I'll try.
Yes, please.
Punna chaparang bhikkhave, bhikkhu ima mewa kayang udang. Pada thala ado kesa mataka. Tacha pariyantang purang nana apakarasa asuchino pache ve kati. Ati imasmin kaye kesa loma naka danta tako mangsang
Tacho.
tacho mangsang naharu ati minjang wakang hadayang yakanang kilomakang pihakang papasang antang atagunang udariyang karisang pitang semhang pungbo lohitang
Pubbo.
pungbo lohitang
Not Pumbo. Pubbo.
sorry
Pubbo.
pupbo lohitam sedu medu asu wasa kelo sing hanika lasika
Mutanti.
mutanti.
Mutanti. Great. And 1.43.
Thank you.
Yes, I think I would ask someone else to read. Thank you, Siri. Who else would like to read 1.43 and the rest? Yeah, please raise your virtual hand. So you seem pretty scared by the Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. So how to practice, huh? Is it? Are you blown away by the Paṭikkūlamanasikāra? You have to test your practice. Okay. Anybody? Sayatapi Bhikkhave? Yes, Jenny? Okay. Who would like to read? Maybe Jenny and then I will ask. Yes, Jenny, you will read 1.43 and then the rest I will ask from home. Yes.
Okay. Sayatapi Bhikkhave Ubato Mukha Putoli Pura Nana Vihitasa Danyansa Sayatitang Salinang Vihinang Mungganang Masanang Tilanang Tandulanang Tamenang Chakuma Puriso Munchitwa Pacha Vikeya Imi Sali Imi Vihi Imi Muga Imi Masa Imi Tila Imi Kadulati. Bhante?
Yes, so now we'll be asking from Sister Ho to read the rest. Yes, Evameva ko bhikkhave.
Okay, Bhante.
Yes.
Evameva ko bhikkhave bhikkhu imameva kayam uddam padatala addo kesamattaka tacca paryantam puram nena pakrasa asuchino paccavekati atti imasmin kaye kesa loma pe mutanti.
Okay, that means
Repeat.
the recurrence, actually, the repetition at that point. And then this part, we'll ask from someone else. Aliana, would you like to read this part?
Iti ajatam wa kaye kaya nupasi viharati bahida wa kaye kaya nupasi viharati ajataba hida wa kaye kaya nupasi viharati. Samudaya dhammanupasi wa kayasmin viharati Vaya dhammanupasi wa kayasmin viharati samudaya wa ya dhammanupasi wa kayasmin viharati. Ati kayoti wa panasa sati pacupatita hoti yawa dewa Jnana mataya patisati mataya anisito ca viharati naca kinci loke upadiyati.
And the last sentence. Yeah.
Ewampi ko bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kaya nupasi viharati.
Okay, great. Now we will go back and see the translation too. Kayanupassana Paṭikkūlamanasikārapaba. There should be 1K, should add here. Section on attending to the nature of the body as well. Punaca parang bhikkhave bhikkhu imameva kayam uddang padatala ado kesamattaka taca paryantam puram nanapakarasa asuchino paccavekati. Now, the Buddha explains how can someone, in this case a monk or anybody, picks up the basic point with regard to the Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. Bhikkhu imameva kayam uddam padatala. Kayam uddam padatala. That means imameva means on this very body. Padatala means soles. Uddam padatala from the soles of the feet upward. That means looking from bottom up. And then ado kesamattaka. From the top of the body, head downward. Kesamattaka ado. Taca pariyanta. Taca means, what's the meaning of taca in Pali? Taca?
Skin.
What is the largest
Skin.
organ in the body?
Skin.
Skin. Skin is the largest organ in the body, right? And taca. So Buddha picks up taca. Taca pariyanta, enclosed by the skin. Puram, filled with nana pakaras, different kind of asuchino, unclean things. So then that means if someone who would like to practice this Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is to think from bottom up and then top down approach with regard to what is happening in the body, thinking the filthy, unclean things that are always going around. Actually, it is a normal experience. We understand blood and a lot of other things are going around. right, in the body. It's a normal experience. We don't have to demonize just because Buddha is asking us to do so. I think that will help us not to fantasize body that much. Because people fantasize bodies, one's body and other people's body all the time. At least we can just look at it in a moderate way. And what if someone is always fantasizing physical bodies of others and oneself, right? So I think this will help anybody, any layperson not to objectify the body, rather than bringing some gratitude, compassion, perspectives, even to one's own spouse as well, to always objectify like a piece of flesh with regard to looking at enjoyment, even objectifying the food, right? That's why with regard to food experience, what are they doing? Just before they eat, anybody who is practicing Buddhism, they can practice mindful eating experience, right? And in some cultures, they are even doing the prayers, right? Catholic culture, they have a prayer to the God. Japanese culture, what they are saying, itadakimasu, right? I think they are saying something else after they finish as well. Because they want to make sure that they are starting this food experience not only by objectifying what you call the taste experience. In the same way, with regard to fantasizing people, what if that people are always objectifying other individuals as an object only? I think that could end up that person in so much indulgence, overindulgence, rather than bringing up ethical elements, metta towards one's partner, karuna towards one's partner, mudita upekka perspective. I think then, even though there is a sense of objectifying that is happening, along the line, there are Brahma Viharas that are happening with regard to that experience. So objectifying an object versus there prevails a certain objectification with metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, Brahma Vihara perspective could lead to a healthy experience for lay people when they enjoy their ethical karmas. So I think this idea, by being able to understand what is lying inside the body with regard to one's body and other people's body, could potentially diminish a total objectification of karmas, right? Now think about when someone is very much tempted. Okay, why should I be tempted? And I also have the same things, and just like how other people have, right? That person can minimize. That person can find a safe haven with regard to how to handle that karma experience. So this is what we understand here. And then I have given some notes. This passage introduces Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, the contemplation of the body's internal composition to counter sensual indulgence, I would say overindulgence and pride. Pride. Do we have a pride with regard to our body? Body image awareness? What kind of pride can people carry? I'm prettier than others, right? I'm more presentable than others. Or maybe pride can come from a certain inferiority complex. I'm less prettier than somebody, right? So then the body image awareness always carries overindulgence and then pride. So by practicing, and also, yes, body shaming of others too, yes, that's a very good observation, right, in today's world. So this kind of thinking even will help us diminish objectification of calm experiences that harshly, that excessively, that will reduce, minimize. The phrase Uddang Padatala Adho Kesamattaka marks a total examination from feet to head while Tachapariyantang, bounded by skin, points to the body's fragile container. For lay practice, this reflection invites realistic mindfulness rather than aversion, to see the body not as repulsive, but as impermanent, composite, and not self, thereby diminishing indulgence, temptations, and vanity. And then the Buddha is fleshing out what is inside that what you call body that we just now discussed in the earlier phrase. So we discussed these 31 parts of the body when we discussed the Girimananda Sutta. We had discussed Girimananda Sutta in this Friday, but I will just try to relate them. Kesa, body hairs, head hairs, and Loma, body hairs, Naka, nails, Danta, teeth, Tacho. In Pali, Ko means K, C means Ch, Tacho. This is Tako, it's Tacho. And then Mansang, Mansang means, Tacho means skin, Mansang means flesh, Naharu, sinews, Atti, bones, Atti minjang, bone marrow, Wakang, kidney, Hadayang, heart, Yakanang, liver, Kilomakang, membranes, Pihakang, spleens, Papasang, lungs, Antang, intestines, Antagunang, mesentery, Udariyang, stomach, Karisang, feces, Pittang, bile, Semhang, phlegm, Pubbo means pus, Lohitang, blood, Sedo, sweat, Medo, fat, Asu, tears, Vasa, grease, Kelo, saliva, Singanika, mucus, Lasika, joint fluid, and then Muktang, urine. So now these 31 are what we see in that body that everybody carries. This list of 31 body parts serves as a meditative inventory for cultivating Asubha Sanya, the perception of unattractiveness. Each item demystifies bodily beauty by revealing its functional, impersonal nature. For modern lay reflection, these can be contemplated as biological realities, fostering gratitude for bodily interdependence and humility about impermanence. The intent is not to discuss, but clear seeing, to free perception from craving and delusion. And then the Buddha is explaining another example to understand the presence of these 31 in a body. It is about a rice example. It's talking about different types of rice. Siyata bhikkave ubato mukha putoli pura. Ubato mukha putoli. Putoli means sack, a certain sack. But the both ends are open. Pura, filled with nana vihitas, danyas, various kind of grain. Danya means grains. What are they? Salina means rice, vihinang barley, mugganang beans, masanang peas, tilanang sesame, tandulanang husk rice. Now what happens? Tamenang chakuma puliso. There is a person who has good eyesight is going to open this particular bag, which is open on the both sides. And then the person notices, this is sali, rice, this part is barley, this part is beans, this part is what you call peas, these are sesame, these are husk rice. So he particularly identifies the particular type of rice and other grains in that sack that is open on both sides. So in the same way, the Buddha is asking us to do something. What is that? Eva meva ko bhikkave bhikkhu imameva kayang uddam padatala, etc., etc. Now, in the same way, someone who wants to practice Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is to understand that in this body there is head hairs, body hairs, so and so forth. It is not to demonize the body. It is not to hate the body that one has to search, locate these places, but to understand the impersonal nature of the body. Not only we have a personal nature of the body. My body, my heart, my kidney, this is what, I mean, of course, we have to use it conventionally. But when someone is locating these 31 body parts, by properly locating them and understanding the nature and metabolism about those particular organs, then that person will reduce, minimize any fanaticism, any fantasy that person may have done by objectifying those organs before, right? Now then you might think about, then a doctor must have come to a very high level of Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. Then someone who is embalming the bodies in a mortuary must have come to a high level of this thing, right? It's a different experience, the way how they are, because Buddhism always talks about intention. Sometimes you may be talking good things all the time, but maybe your inner inside might be totally a mess, right? You might be talking a lot of good things. Who knows what is happening in your inside, right? So that is why the Buddha says intention matters at the end. No, don't look at external things from people. Okay, this person must be a very serene, calm, good person, right? Because even the bad people are behaving like good people, right? So we don't know. We don't have to decide that someone is good just because we see it from outside. But it could be a trigger for us to think. So here, what the Buddha is asking is, if someone is to properly locate them without hating the body, that experience will help the particular person to lower, minimize fantasies, fetishization of the body, excessive engagement with regard to karma. So it's a very good thing, in our life. It's very good for us to have that healthy level of calm experience. Okay, now, then the usual phrase is now coming up after that. You can see, iti ajjattang va kaye kayanupassati bahiddha va ajjatta bahiddha. May I know what is this? We have been discussing this for 3 days now already. What does this part meant by the statement here? What is ajjatta ve and bahiddha ve, ajjatta bahiddha ve with regard to this practice?
Inside
Ajjatta
the
ve.
body, in the body, then external and universal. Is it, Bhante?
Yeah, but how to make it practical? How to practically understand that? Now that means when someone is to practice Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, the first thing is to understand the 31 body parts, expansion in the body. And then one has to use the inside part to practice it, right? Now the inside part of every Satipaṭṭhāna is internal, external, origin, and all those things. So now we are starting the inside part of the Satipaṭṭhāna of this Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. There Buddha says, at this point, meditator, yogi or yogini, whoever, is going to understand 31 body parts internally. What is meant by internal understanding of the body parts? One has to understand that I carry all of these body parts, right? Depending on, some people might not have sometime, but most healthy individuals, they carry these 31 body parts. Then one has to understand it from external perspective, which means just like me, all these healthy individuals, they are carrying these 31 body parts. So I have to be compassionate towards them too, right? If everybody is carrying these body parts, why should I become jealous about their external appearance? Has anybody given some thoughts when you are becoming jealous about somebody's beauty, good nature? That's why the Buddha is saying, when you bringing this into other people, I mean, they might look prettier than me, but they are also carrying the same body parts. just like me. Why should I be jealous about that? I think that's a very good, interesting observation that someone does through Paṭikkūlamanasikāra's insight experience. And then Ajjata Bahita, both through myself and both through other people. This is the first insight activity with regard to establishing Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. Second, Samudaya Dhammanupassīva. Samudaya means origin. Vaya Dhammanupassīva means cessation. Now, vanishing and Samudaya Vaya. How to understand that? If I had not had a body, I would have not been able to look at these 31 body parts. What if I became a bird? Is it possible to become a bird in this samsara? Like the Bodhisattva says in one particular, I can't remember the place. The Bodhisattva says, I cannot say that being a bird, being a different kind of bird, I have not travel in this direction, through this place. That means as being a bird, he has traveled everywhere in this whole universe. Think about. So when someone became a bird, can that person carry teeth? No. Birds don't have teeth, right? Do they have teeth?
No.
They don't have.
Beak.
And they might have, huh? They might have beaks, right? Not the teeth. And what about some other animals? Think about certain animals like worms, insects. We call them as invertebrate animals. They don't have a certain a bone. So how are we going to look at them with regard to Atti Minja? That means this is not a zoological kind of experience. This is primarily given with regard to the humans, right? So that means when you understand the Samudaya Vayadhamma insight experience here, what you're going to do is that if I didn't have this body, then I would have not been able to see these 31 body parts, right? Because I had this body, I could see these 31 body parts. So you are seeing the origin and the dissolution of the body with regard to being able to see the 31 body parts. And then, the most important aspect of insight now. Atti kāyotiva panassa satipaccupaṭṭhita. Or mindfulness that there is a body is established to the extent necessary for jnana mattai, knowledge, and patisati mattai, repeated mindfulness. Now, the yogi or yogini is going to understand that I was able to practice Kayanupassana through 31 body parts to the extent that I could penetrate, that I could see what is inside of my body. So I cannot carry that illusionary experience about the beauty of the body at that point onwards, because I only see 31 body parts in that experience. And therefore, anisitocha viharati, that particular person does not dwell associating, and nachakinchi loki upadiyati, that person will not grasp at anything with regard to the panchakanda. Same thing that we discussed. So now what we need to understand here is that the Buddha taught Paṭikkūlamanasikāra for lay people not to overindulge, and also how to deal with their temptations. I think those are the two very important things that you will learn. Now let us get into the notes before we go for a Q&A. See clearly, not cruelly. The Buddha never meant us to hate the body. He wanted us to see it truthfully by observing the body from head to toe, skin bound, changing, filled with many elements. We strip away illusion without turning to discuss. This honestly diminishes desire naturally. I would say extreme desires. When we stop idealizing beauty or youth, temptation loses power through mindfulness system. Grooming is liberating clarity that transforms fascination to freedom. So then, once again, we have to say that Buddha never asked us, especially even to the monks and nuns and anybody, to hate the body. Remember that there were certain monks who could not attain certain meditative states in their meditation. And then what happened? They found someone who is killing other people for a fee, executions. Then they were telling that person, we are very unhappy about life. Then he asked why? Because we always expire from meditative experience. So I think there is no point of living in. So can you kill us? So that person, executioner, killed so many monks. And then the Buddha made a Vinaya rule that you can't go to that man and ask him to kill yourself. This life is precious. Right? So that is a very good place for us to understand the importance of this human life. Right? Just like how Buddhism is against euthanasia, active, passive euthanasia, and then that kind of suicide experience. Buddha is always asking people to take care of their life because this is a precious life. So then definitely, even when he was talking about Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, there is no any point that can support demonizing the body. Second note is from craving to caring. Paying attention to the nature of the body turns blind craving into wise, compassionate care. Now, normally when people objectify others, compassion part might run out rather than a sort of fantasies can arise at that point. So let's say your ethical karmas include individuals, people who you have a strong connection in your life. At that point, you are supposed not to always go around objectification part rather than bring lots of metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha towards that connection. That will help you to go beyond that objectification. The body is a vessel of virtue, not a trophy of ego. When seen as a dynamic assembly of parts, it becomes a means to practice generosity, patience, compassion. We care for it to sustain ethical life and service, not to glorify it. The reflection turns vanity into humility and helps us root dignity in conduct, not cosmetics. Through this view, the body regains its sacredness as a ground of wholesome action. Why is the body important in Buddhism? I think we should discuss that a little bit now. Is body very important in the Buddhist practice?
Yes, Bhante. It's a vehicle for our enlightenment, for our attainment.
Yes. So body is equally important, just like the mind. You can't talk about the mind without the body. Body without the mind. So they are inseparable. So having the proper attitude, healthy attitude, ethical attitude, kusala attitude with regard to taking care of the body is very important. Now think about if you look at certain Vinaya teachings about the body, how the Buddha asks monks to take care of the body, right? How did he ask monks to, clean the body, take care of the body and all that? Then we understand body should not be ignored, right? There are a lot of things we can learn in that perspective. Even when the Buddha was talking about eating habits in the Dona-Paka Sutta, why did he have to talk about moderation in eating? May I know what is the connection of eating habits to enlightenment? That's a good point to understand. The importance of body. What is the connection of body to becoming a better person and then becoming enlightened? Because if we are not eating and drinking in moderation, then that will lead us to unmindfulness. Unmindfulness means that is not a good thing for our cultivation. Let's say someone is eating too much. Forget about alcohol and other things. Someone is eating too much of rice. Someone is eating too much of fermentation stuff. Right? What could lead that habit at the end?
Intoxicated.
That will lead that person to become clouded with regard to one's experience. So then, taking care of the body is very important. If not, you cannot cultivate your thoughts, right? So that means it is not only happening, should not happen in a particular event. You have to keep it, you have to maintain it. That's why the Buddha said, Bhojaneta Macchanyuta, that means eating in moderation, drinking in moderation, they all are important. So that's why treat the body sacred in a way, because only by maintaining, take care of the body, you would be able to cultivate your mind. Without the proper care to the body, you will know the Dhamma, but you won't be able to cultivate. This cultivate is very, cultivation is the most important thing, right? And then, lot of information, so you can read because of our timing. This is about the grains example. This is important. From my body to a body. When we extend contemplation from self to others, ajjata bahita, lust and pride fade. Seeing that all bodies share the same composition, 31 body parts, decay. We loosen possessiveness and awaken empathy. This insight breaks the root of exploitation. One no longer sees others as objects of desire or comparison, but as fellow travelers in fragility. Shared embodiment becomes a foundation for compassion and ethical respect, cooling temptation before it grows. How many crimes that have been happening because of over, objectification of the bodies in this world? Teenagers, young adults, right? Because of this hypersexualistic nature of internet sometimes, right? I think it's very important to have a healthy perspective with regard to body that will help us to respect others as well. So then when this Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is happening properly, then we may be able to transform my body into a body. A body is a universal experience that everybody can take. All right, I think these are very much information. Okay, we will read this one. Balanced living, care without clinging. The essence of Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is balance, a middle way between indulgence and aversion. We care for the body as a duty of wisdom, not as a symbol of birth. We restrain unethical sensual pleasure through understanding, not repression. We even soften attachment to ethical pleasures, finding contentment in simplicity. When contemplation matures, the body is no longer a trap. Body normally makes us a trap of craving, but a temple, monastery of practice where mindfulness, compassion, and serenity unite. Okay, once again, going back, today's topic, Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, is important for lay people for two reasons. One is to avoid overindulgence. Number two is to deal with the temptations. And how can we do it? We are going to understand what are the composites in our body, and then to use the insight part to universalize that experience. Right, now we can take any question if you have with regard to Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. In the meantime, let me read a couple of comments. By keeping the body clean and odorless, taking pride in the form of self-esteem. Yes. After understanding the repulsiveness of the body, one detached from adoring beautiful dresses, perfume to beautify the body that leads to akusala. Well, I mean, there is no harm for anybody to use adorning clothes. But the thing is that what you are developing with regard to the clothes. Let's say you have so much money, so why not buy a branded clothing? It's no problem. The problem is, what do you develop with regard to that branded cloth, not the branded cloth itself. We don't have a problem with the branded stuff. If you have money, go and buy it. But because you are affordable to buy, you're not a poor person. Sometimes it is not the thing that you have. Even a beggar might cling to one's own particular things that the beggar might use. So that means it doesn't matter whether you are a beggar or a rich person. What matters is what you develop with regard to what you have, right? That's the most important thing to learn, actually. Okay? I think I always mention a very interesting story. There was one monk in the Buddha's temple passed away. Other monks are now trying to cremate the monk's body, and the Buddha prevented them to cremate the monk's body. And then those monks asked, "Why are you preventing us cremating him? He's dead already." And the Buddha said, "This monk had a clinging towards his robe, the robe that he's wearing now. So he will come back to the, I think he must have come back to the robe already as a moth. So if you cremate him, you are cremating the moth as well. You are killing the moth as well. So just spend some time, the moth will go away from the robe." Think about even what possessions do monks have, but still have the clinging. It's not about what you have, what you develop with regard to what you have. That's the most important. If you ethically make that living, that's fine. Ethically earn the subjects, that's fine. Possessions, fine. But the problem is what you develop with regard to what you. I think Paṭikkūlamanasikāra has to be understood that way. And then Joshua asks, is there any difference between the method to practice Asubha 31 in the Nikaya? Well, Visuddhimagga is a commentary, especially very late commentary by Venerable Buddha has Mattalunga, brain. You know, when it comes to Pali commentaries, senior monks who lived in the 5th century and that time, they wanted to address certain comments which the then time people made. So they wanted to kind of fine-tune the canon, Tipitaka. So perhaps they might have added the brain as Mattalunga into this list. Yeah, so that is why I think there is no difference with regard. But if you learn 32 body parts from a certain meditation style, then you will practice Mattalunga. But in the original Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, there is no mention about the brain. So don't worry about it. And what about those who do plastic surgery for vanity? I don't know why all they are doing plastic surgery is for vanity, or is it for looking good? I mean, somebody might do it that way. Well, I mean, these are developments of transhumanism. Here's the thing. There is no problem to look good in Buddhism, right? We have to look good, because if we look bad, then it might be difficult for us to understand Panchakanda properly. But if someone is obsessed with the cosmetic stuff, very obsessed, always going to find out new cosmetic treatments and want to decorate, beautify unnecessarily or excessively, that could be a problem. But if there is sorry to say, someone who is not happy about the looks, then the person is making some money. There's a new treatment coming up in South Korea or somewhere, and he or she is going to that particular country and getting the treatment done. After coming back, we see, oh, they look good. Of course, that's a good thing. If it is done in a safe environment. I think some of them, they have gone to these treatments, they came back with a lot of problems. But I think there is no problem with regard to, and thanks to the science for that. But other than that, if someone is going after the treatments one by one, always obsessed with the cosmetic treatments, that could be a vanity, as you say, definitely. But I think everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to look good. We should be happy for that because of what is happening in the world. But please follow the healthy, good places for that. Don't try to distort your present beauty just by going to unverified places. Yeah, I'm saying plastic surgery on drooping eyelids that obstructs vision is considered severe. Any treatments to the face? Yeah. I don't think there is any harm with regard to that. Yes, Jenny, you have a question? Yes, please.
Yeah, Bhante. I remember Bhante was relating a story to us about someone who is doing the Asubha meditation coming to you for advice, because after a while doing the meditation, the person become how to say develop a extremely or overly aversion to other people because of the body parts meditation. So what is the difference between that meditation and the method that you mentioned here?
The difference is the proper guidance. The person who got that advice, this was from someone from Malaysia when I was doing a retreat in the Eastern Province. And what I understood was that the 32 body part meditation in that one, it was taught to that person in the wrong way. What is the wrong way of teaching this? Hate in the body. Hate in the body. You have this thing, you have to be ashamed of these things, right? I think what has happened with regard to that particular person was that she was doing a very good meditation, breath meditation. But all of a sudden, somebody changed breath meditation into body part meditation in the wrong way. If it was suggested in the proper way, at least we can accept that. And what happened to her was that she was saying that I started rejecting my family. I started denying family reunion, New Year activities. I don't want to see my mom and dad. I created a certain disliking towards my partner. And I know something bad is happening to me. I don't know how to get out of this issue. And she asked me, "Do you have any recommendation?" I said, "Go back to what you did and tell me in 6 months." Because she has been doing breath meditation. And she went back. After a couple of months, she's okay. Right? So my suggestion is that body parts meditation as a general practice is okay under the proper teaching, just like how we discussed today. Other than that, if someone is teaching body part meditation to demonize, dislike the body, hate the body, that could be a wrong way to teach this. So that is the difference between that and this. I think this is going to be an attitude for us, not only a meditation, the way how we perceive our body and others' body. Now think about two perceptions. One is thinking, see, I have to hate this body. What kind of panchakanda you are carrying on? This is the experience of that person. And the version that we are talking today, okay, just like me, you are also carrying this body part. I have to be compassionate to you, just like how I'm doing metta for myself. And I'm using that understanding to create more metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, and also to reduce my unethical karmas and also temptations, and also to engage in ethical karmas in the proper way. If these are properly observed and given the instruction to somebody, that should be good. But if they were bypassed and then it's going to teach body parts meditation in that way, I think that could create more dangerous consequences. You know, in psychology, there are a lot of researches have been done about the people who messed up in the meditation. Meditation made their problem more serious after that. Actually, that's a wrong meditation. I'm always saying psychosis is one problem because they were instructed wrongly. And then now they are discussing it. It was not new. A couple years it has been doing. People who wrongly they don't say wrongly meditated because they don't know meditation, psychological perspective. Those who have meditated and then ended up with more problems than the problems they had before. So I think this is one good example of that particular person. So that's why I would say meditation is not an over-the-counter medication. You need expert advice. It's not an over-the-counter syrup that you go buy without the doctor. It's a prescribed thing. But attitude-wise, we all can practice. All right. Any other questions about today? Yes, Sally.
Bhante, before this lesson, today's lesson, actually I was I was made to understand that this 32 parts Asubha meditation actually is meant for monks, taught by Buddha to the monks, because some of the monks, they are young and then they are lustful, so that this meditation actually is to create some disgust about the body, so that they eliminate to eliminate the lust from the monks. This is what I understood about this type of meditation. Please advise, Bhante.
Well, yeah, that's for the monks, Sangha members, not for the lay people. So all these practices have two sides. One is for the lay people, one is for the Sangha members. So Sangha members, they have to overcome their. That's why I said there are neutral biological functions. Sangha members also carry, depending on their temperament, practice, all these things. So they have to handle it differently. But when it comes to the lay people are supposed to use 31 body parts meditation to manage their ethical karmas without veering them off onto the overindulgence, and then to deal with the temptations. That's the lay people version. But for the Sangha members, it could be a different thing. That is how they are supposed to practice it. It's like you practice 5 precepts, they practice more than 200 precepts, right? But you all are ethical. You also have sila, they also have sila. So that's how we look at it. So then from today, you don't have to think that this is only for the Sangha member. This is for all of us, right? Yes. Any other questions for today? Paṭikkūlamanasikāra?
Bhante, can I ask one question, Bhante?
Yes, please.
Bhante, because in certain tradition, right, I was told after they practice the 32 parts, right, a small amount of yogis, they have this so-called the vision. After they attain calmness, the vision of their body parts arises in their meditation. So is that considered a form of concentration as well? And then after that, they can use the vision. And then after that, the vision, after they further.
Are you done with the question?
They can see
That's
their
all?
internal organs. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. You are breaking up a bit. Yes. So when some yogis have done the meditation, this as a meditation, like this Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, and then those
after they have attained calmness, the vision of their internal organ arises, like a sign like that.
That's a very good observation. May I know what is the calmness? Can someone come after understanding 31 body parts? That's a very good observation. What kind of calmness can someone come? Even a layperson. When the layperson knows that I have 31 body parts, What kind of calmness that can someone come? The calmness of understanding the indulgence, calmness of not being driven by the temptation. That is the calmness someone comes, and not the hatred. Yes, that is the calmness. Calmness, like that is the difference between someone who's regular, always driven by unethical karmas, even overindulgence to ethical karmas and temptations, versus one who understands one's own overindulgence and the level of temptation. Then the person becomes very serene, calm, not driven by everything what is happening from outside. So when that calmness happens, then what will happen? Yes, Joshua?
Vision will arise. It's some sort of like a vision in their meditation. They can see their internal organs. They can see their internal organs, like blood, like bones, all those kind of things. They can see it very clearly using their calmness. I mean, I was told by certain meditators when they report.
Okay. Yes, it is similar to breath meditation's progress. You know, when you do the breath meditation, the first progressive method is wrong indications, right? That's the place where people say, I saw a black rock, I saw this one, I was floating. And when the person who is saying, I saw a black rock, that one next to him didn't see any rock, and he was very perplexed about why I didn't see a rock, right? And someone was seeing colors. So that means when our mind is becoming serene, mind is going through flashbacks. In the same way, the person, yogi or yogini, who has been properly looking at the 31 body parts with regard to this Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, may see certain wrong indications. Now, what if the calm yogi is to always think about one's own blood? Would that be a good experience? May I know? What if the calm yogini is to always hypothesize about one's chest, heart, teeth? Would that be a very pleasant, calm experience after that, to go to the inside? No. That means that level of Paṭikkūlamanasikāra has to go forth, has to go beyond, has to keep going, right? But unfortunately, some people, they just like visualizing blood and all that because it is naturally coming to that. So it is a normal experience, Joshua. One has to keep going with regard to specifying the body parts without, I would say, there is an analysis here, right? What did the Buddha say in the Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is, Buddha first analyzed body into 31 parts, right? Now the meditator is looking at 31 body parts separately. That is called dissection analysis. Then to counter the problem, Joshua, what you are saying, what should they do? They have to synthesize the body parts. Synthesize means 31 body parts are not happening in isolation. They are all connected to one Panchakanda. Analysis plus synthesis. Then what will happen is that the person will understand, yes, Panchakanda exists as a synthesis, and Panchakanda can be analyzed. So when the meditator cannot do that, then would be the problem to hypothesize, visualize body parts separately. We can take one more question and we will wrap this up. Yes, Ho? No question. Can you please unmute?
Bhante,
Yes.
I hear you. To study the repulsiveness of the body, right, is to manage our temptation, manage addiction or whatsoever attraction towards the body. But Bhante, can you please, because the word repulsive is very strong, right? Is there a word for us to bring home? Yeah, to bring home. Like
No, I didn't use the repulsiveness word. That Joshua is the one who put this up.
sorry, discuss.
Yes.
Maybe a discuss. Particular.
No, what I said was attending to the true nature of the body.
Yes. That is good.
That's what I said.
That is good,
And
Bhante. Okay.
Joshua was mentioning the repulsiveness with regard to other yogis.
Yeah, because
Yes.
that's a very heavy word, very, very heavy word.
Yeah.
So like having the respect for the body, right?
Yes. So
Without
we
the
have
body,
unloaded that today.
because without the body, how am I going to be sitting here and listening to Bhante?
Yes. What enlightenment is possible without the body? Think about.
Yes.
There's no enlightenment
Thank-
without carrying the body in the proper way. Yeah, in the proper way, not too
Yes.
excessive.
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
Okay, I think with that, we are going to transfer the merits. Thank you for the comments here. Now we are looking at all the good karmas which you've been making by understanding Paṭikkūlamanasikāra. We understood Paṭikkūlamanasikāra is not the loathsomeness or repulsiveness or the disgusting nature of the body in that sense, rather than to understand them as an analytical point of view, to dissect them, and then to see the synthetical nature, to see the nature of the body. So may all the good karmas we be making by understanding Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, may all our departed ones be able to receive all those merits. May they able to be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Deva Naga Mahidika. May Deva Naga Mahidika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you, your family members, and everybody. May they bless you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, and happiness. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata ca amhihi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca amhihi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca amhihi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Sasanam. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Desanam. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Mang Parang Chirang Rakhantu Tvam Sadati. Next, as usual, we are going to continue wishing our noble wish. Our noble wish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mitras, just like all of you, all of us. We are Kalyana Mitras too, all of us. At the same time, may we become Kalyana Mitras too, as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsaric life, till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been learning today through studying, discussing, understanding Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, going beyond cultural understanding, literal understanding about the body, and then understanding, a healthy understanding about Paṭikkūlamanasikāra, to be mindful. May all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhissa niccang vaddha pachāyino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night till we see you again on Friday at the same time. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Bhante.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu,
Good
sadhu.
night, everyone. Thank you.
And good night, everybody.
Your next week.
To Bhante, good night.
Good night, sister.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Good night, everyone. Sister Liana, Sister Hammer, everyone.
Yeah, good night,
Good
Melinda, sister.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Bhante.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, thank you, Aliana. Everybody, good night.
Good night. Good night.